How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. It's Monday, and it's a confusing date. It's 2/22/2021. Happy Monday to you. It's been a really quiet day. I don't know if you've had the same experience where like folks aren't texting as much. The Discord chat's a little bit quiet. The YouTube views are kind of down. The birds aren't chirping as loud. It must just be one of those kinds of Mondays where folks are kind of in a lull. But it's okay. I have 9 great stocks for you today. If you are a beginner, welcome. This channel is for you. I'm going to show you all the technicals you need to know about these stocks. I use a 180-day chart. I get the macro scale stuff. I show you the best possible value for these stocks and what you should do with them. If you're an intermediate trader, these are great for you as well because you probably are playing CCIV. You're probably in NIO. You're probably in Microsoft. You're probably in Tesla. All these big plays. I love it. What you need to do though is diversify. When things hit the fan like they have been these last 2 weeks, it's good to have different sectors that bleed a little bit slower or melt up instead of melt down, right? You kind of hedge your bets. So this is for all you types of guys. Some things I want to show you today. The journal is updated. That's pretty awesome. And I can show you guys the Discord real quick. But this is a great watch list for the day. 9 great plays, 11 good plays. Let's not waste any more time. Let's check it out. And you can see from my right or your left, these are all the plays that we've called. What's super duper cool, if I go through all of it, and I'll go slowly, every single play has been logged from when I would have bought. Most of these I have bought, 4 or 5 of these a day, 2 or 3 recently. I buy these at these entry prices, and then I track them based on my strategies for stop losses and trading stop losses and where you would have gotten. This big number next to it is if you were to buy every single stock and play them the way I would have played it, your average return. So it does not mean that these happened in one day. Like you did not get 15% in one day off BLD. You did not get 96% return on resin in one day. But that whole move was that much. You can see every single play is updated for you. You can go through every single thing. As of recently, this is January. We have a few we're still holding open. Like Wendy's I'm still holding for small, and CP I'm still holding open. KO is a long-term play. Wendy's I'm holding again. You can see GGG, no big loss. That's still moving. CAT's still moving. MDU still moving. Aggro looks really good still. CAT looks good still. Then we have our more new recent plays. And again, I have more losses in here. You see how we go from having up here, we have 30s, 12s, 30s, 14s, 30s, 8s, 20, 30, 30, 30, -1, right? As of recent with this kind of meltdown, -3%, 12, 12, 29, 2, 6, 5, 7. Like this may be, if this were to end terribly, like these were to tank, it could be a negative day, right? So as of recent, you can see they're a little bit lower numbers, but that's just given the fact that's the market right now, right? I'm kind of tampering my expectations a little bit. Like this is arguably, if this day 218 picks go bad, I could end up negative in this day, right? So we'll see what happens. But the journal's updated for you to go through. It's great stuff. Check it out. All my calls are there for my validity. You can see what I'm doing. Let's check out the Discord real quick. So this is the Discord, and this is some great stuff that I offer to people. And again, I'm not really pushing it. It's just here if you want to. I'm not going to leave YouTube. I give morning briefings on every single thing that's happening in the market, every single kind of market structure. We look at futures and stuff. We talk about how this morning was going to be a red day, so watch out. And of course, it happened. I also do some new live updates whenever I find stocks that are good. I call them out, like MRK was a good one, SPLK was a good one. I then do my ticker updates in the morning. Every single ticker that I called that week, I give a sentence to explanation on saying, hey, these are good pickups for sure. Check these out. We also do our daily watch lists. This was yesterday's, right? And we can see, make it a little bit bigger for you, that's what she said. We can see it goes through all the stuff, my favorites. It goes through all the price points of everything. There's Apple, there's AAB, all that stuff. You have links to all the articles. So like ACB has this kind of article about it. Right, it goes through all of them. It has my import links on it. So you can see every single thing with loading points and stuff. So I don't do live calls. I just do that instead because it's a little bit more easy for everybody. That's there. Talk about intermediate plays that I talk about. You get the live showings early, 30, 40 minutes early. You ask me beginner questions, ask me direct questions, right? Like COGT, I'll say, yup, looks good to me. Charting questions for everybody. We have a main chat. Swing trading's all in here. Folks are sharing their stuff, right? Everything's looking really, really good. So if you like that kind of stuff, check it out. Otherwise, no pressure at all. It's no big deal. I like having the YouTube audience as well. If you want to join it, great. If not, totally cool too. With that being said, let's check the watch list. So we have 9 really good stocks for you guys to watch tomorrow and through the rest of the week, and 11 really good ones for intermediate traders who I trust more. More times than not, the intermediate list actually makes more money, but again, the entry points and the going through them is a lot harder. So if you're a beginner, again, please just watch the first 9 and then stop the video. I know it cuts into my ad time. I'll be okay. Above me, you'll see a list of stocks. The one here that's labeled poop is a really good one. The one below it labeled this week because I cut it off is the good ones. So with no further ado, let's get into it and check these stocks out. First is Agilent Technologies, household name, obviously, not really. What a beautiful uptrend. Now I always suggest zooming out. We can see that this uptrend, has not been perfectly symmetrical, but right now it's looking really good. 10 years, it's at all-time highs. It's really crushing. But again, even from here to here, in almost a year, 100% is not insane. We think about what kind of happens to some stocks today. So we have all-time highs, but a good pullback off of that from earnings. So earnings ran it up and it pulled back. Now, the whole strategy that we implement is convergence and trying to find as many stocks that have a lot of good stuff going for it. And we have a support right here. And again, it could be a little bit higher. It could be a little bit lower. It's up to you. It's a support area. And we have our uptrend. Worst case, if you're a good trader, you're going to lose maybe 2% on this, right? You want to go for higher lows on a, last move. Okay, 2%. You want to be really confident. 6% if you're really confident. Some of y'all lose 6% per trade already. So, this is no different. But we can kind of zoom in and reel in these losses you guys take and, lose 2%. It shows life. You buy back in and it goes up. That's great. Easily can make up 10, 15% a good move. At least you'll see if it does make a good move 5%. You're risking 1.5 or 5. That's a good setup. But really easy to read channel. Supports right here. It's above volume. It's trying to push new highs. If it can kind of build up some volume here, this can be a great sign. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. What's dope about this channel in particular is but what's really cool is that I do not look at indicators while I scan. I do all indicators after I do this show and while I'm doing it with you. So while I'm looking at these, you can see what I see in real time. That's pretty dope. Other people just, cherry picking, like, this one's really good. I'm just guessing that the email lines are in play, that their RSI is low while I'm talking about it. So this is my first look at the indicators. It's pretty cool to watch them with me. So it's definitely a 50 EMA bounce. And again, it does. You see how it breaks in and comes back. It breaks in and comes back. That's okay. And you get big moves when it crosses above both EMA lines. It's above the 50. So if you want to be Mr. Risk Management and you want to wait for a crossover, that's great. You're going to wait for this to come over both the 10 and the 50. It's going to come over, take probably 3 to 4 days. It's going to take its sweet old time. And it's going to cross over and do just fine, right? So it may take some time. But that's what your testing is at. It may tap the 200 worst case and you're good to go. RSI, it could be lower, but let's be dynamic. Starting here, right? This is where the uptrend starts, where our pattern started. Looking right of where this cursor is. See? Looking right of here. We can see that the RSI does get down to 32, 34, low, and it's at 40. So I think it may have a small red day tomorrow. Yeah, possibly. I think it may come down just a little bit farther, tap this yellow line, and then turn around. So we're right there. Stochastic hasn't been lower, though. That's a great sign of how low it is. Not only has it never been lower, you can connect this to this, and you connect this to that, and see it's a fairly obvious but a small little baby divergence kind of going on. That's a good sign. Vortex could be a little bit lower, so again, I think it may be red tomorrow, maybe red on Wednesday, maybe a little red, whatever. That's okay, because it's going to be a watch list show. You should put this on your watch list to wait for a reversal. And again, the Vortex looks like green's down here for 7, 8 days. Right, it's been down here for 2, so you may see again 2 or 3 days, so it bottoms out, and then it kind of takes some time to reverse. A is a great setup, really low risk, high reward if you know what you're doing. Don't be too hasty on the trigger. Right, we have a lot of folks who've been doing that. Let's just relax. Over trading is worse than under trading, trust me. But A is a good setup. Next is AQN, Algonquin Power Utilities. They really want to have stupid names today, don't they? Another great uptrend. Let's zoom out. Okay, you can see on the last, 8 months here, been really trucking along. 10 years, okay. We've had previous highs that were then broken, but now we're kind of retesting this whole zone. Right, we're saying, okay, down here you would have had, this is really overbought, isn't it? Well, for the whole year and a half, it ran up. So we're not really surprised by this right now. It's doing really good. Again, it draws up the face of the earth. Right, that's okay. So we want to get into this zone. Now, could you buy in at the top? Sure. You can see every single time it's reversed, tap, tap, tap. It's only gone down here once, and it just tapped. So am I confident it's going to reverse? Yeah, I'm fairly confident. But if you're going to be like Mr. Risky Business, you know, that's fine too. You want to wait. Now, you can easily see 4% in a bad move, full move 10% at least, and a good run up. It'll take you a little bit of time to get there. But again, all you're risking, worst case, you want to do the volume line, 3%. That's a 3-to-1 ratio. You want to just do the top line, you're talking about 1.5%, and then you can rebuy in. So I'm definitely not shocked by anything. You'd also take this line right here, I noted earlier, and come over and see that also lines up damn near perfect as well. So this is definitely a good area of value. Definitely have a resistance around here, but you have a support right here. So it's definitely uptrending. Again, very low risk if you want to take your time. If you miss this one because you're nervous that's a little bit high, then you miss it. That's okay. You can live to trade another day, right? But a really good setup. Let's check the indicators. So looking at volume, one thing you got to notice though, this is a massive red one, 959,000, and this one's 180. So a lot of these do not get even close to that. So keep that in mind. You got to watch the volume for a big day because you don't see a big volume spike. It's going to keep going down until you see a big one. RSI is oversold. Stoch is low. Vortex is dummy low. So again, the Vortex, it seems to take about, we go from like here over and watch the Vortex line, 7 days. This right here, 7 days. This right here is a biggie. I went backwards like an idiot, 20 days. So it looks like it takes about 7 days to go over here, 9 days. So we've been down here for about 6, so we should hopefully see a reversal soon. According to the Vortex, Stoch's low. Vortex. Again, everything looks like it's in favor to reverse. Just do your research. Why did it sell off so hard? You know, it could have just been a lot of folks' stop losses getting knocked out, but do your research. AQ and otherwise, technically, spot on. Great setup. Next is CRUS, Cirrus Logic Inc. This is a nice uptrend, right? It's really nice. You want to usually see the peaks be the same because this is definitely a bit concerning when they do. This is definitely a broadening wedge kind of setup where these will not last forever. But again, if we were to duplicate this and zoom it over, you can see that these lines line up very well as well, which again, is not an accident. This happens on purpose every single time. But again, it's kind of wedging. So do you think it has the power to make another 25% move? I certainly do. I also do think it could also just make a 5-10% move right here. We get in, we get out, we're good. So good uptrend, but regardless of that uptrend, it had earnings. It survived it pretty well. That's a good sign. Very obvious support here. So worst case, you put a smart stop loss. You lost 2%. You can then buy back in later. 2% is nothing to cry about. Looking really good. Let's zoom out real quick. Again, it looks really good. 10-year. Again, we're pushing new highs, but we're testing to see if this is going to be a good place for us to live at. If it does live here, it kind of consolidates and takes off. That's a great sign. It could collapse on us, but again, we have a smart stop loss. I'm not freaking about anything. Looks pretty good here. CRUS, technically, great uptrend, great support. Looks really good. I bet EMA lines are close by. Let's check them out. Oh, golly gee, who knew? We can clear the drawing set real quick. You can see 200s right there. Oh boy, right? Big smart. So that's right there for you. That even strengthens the case of what's going on here. If you want to wait for it to cross above the 50 and give up that 5% to really have that, that's fine. But again, you will get faked out occasionally. So if it does go above it, you must wait for a retest, it looks like. It looks like it wants to retest that line once it breaks it. See how it breaks it and it retested it. See how it got broke down and it retested it. So you may want to wait for that, but I like to get in at value. It looks really good here. RSI could be a tad bit lower. Stoch is low. Vortex is low. So again, CRUS looks like a really good setup. The 200s right there, supports right there. I like it a lot. If it lives, great setup. Next is CTLT, Salient, Ketelant, I don't know. I bad spelling, everyone knows that. Extend that channel left. You can see it's been in play for quite a while now. Easily for the last, 173 days. That's almost 6 months right now. But it's kind of really tapering off here. Now, if we were to zoom out, again, we're pushing new highs. Is this that crazy to think about? Well, it's gone up maybe 73% in 8 months. So, 10% a month is not unheard of at all. But again, it's a really good value. It survived earnings. Earnings came in, it said, shit, and then it survived. So that's okay. If you were to buy in right now, you have a smart stop loss. You're going to lose 2.8%, maybe 3%, right there underneath this gap here and this lower low here. 3%. Okay, God forbid. So you may want to wait a day to see what it's going to do. The reversals do make little baby bowl shapes. You know, this one's the dagger, but a little bit baby bowl shape here. You may see itself take a little bit of time to turn around. So that's no big deal. Really good 3%. You could easily gain up to 15% on a good move. Bad move 4%. And so it's a really easy setup, super easy read, great value. I like it a lot. I mean, could it easily, you know, come down to like this area? Sure, if it does die down, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down a little bit farther, but this is a great setup nonetheless. Let's check the indicators. So it's a 50 EMA bounce, and again, let's look back historically. Oh my goodness, it breaks it. Broke it. What's it do? It comes back. So it's not freak out yet. Let's wait for a green candle at least to hold. Like I want like 1 4-hour candle to hold here before I buy in. But if we can live above this and, you know, retake it, you get a great action above the 50 and the 200, above the 50 and the 200. You get good action, right? So if you want to wait for that, it's a great strategy. I like to buy in early because I'm a little hasty and I want the best value. RSI is low, could be a little bit lower, but it is low. Stochastic is dummy low. And it's looking like it's getting close to a divergence. We have one more little low day. We'll have one. Vortex reverses around here. Could be a little bit lower. But if we were to look for here over, that's a 5-day reversal from here over. 7-day reversal from here over. 7-day. You get the idea. 5, 7, 7. Right now we're in day 3. So 2 to 4 days to really watch this and see what it's going to do. But CTLT, a great value, easy read. I like it a lot. Next is FSLY. Now, like many stocks that's been happening, and I pardon my French, it's getting the shit kicked out, like just completely kicked out of it. You know, it's getting its ass whipped because of earnings. I guess just because, you know, I think because companies did really well Q4, and then here comes Q1 of the new year, just not looking great. Like that's crazy. That's a 30% drop in one day. So it's doing very similar things, and let's look back historically. Oh shit, reversed and does fine. Oh god, reversed and does fine. Oh god, and does fine. So will this eventually make you money? Yeah, I'm fairly confident. I use the word fairly confident because I'm not 100% sure. Nothing's 100% sure. But am I going to buy it if it shows even a little bit of life here? Yeah, because you have consolidate sideways. Worst case, I may have to cut it, you know, very quickly, like $75, and then rebuy in once it shows life if it gets down this area. But this is a great horizontal channel with one deviation. All right, one time it kind of was like, damn, must have been a really bad earnings call. It was running down because of it. But if it shows some green and consolidate, see how it consolidates right here in this POC? It's going to consolidate. And this does take 21 days. This one did take 14 days. This one did take 9. This took 14. So let's not get Mr. Hasty here. It's been down here for about 5 days. So you're looking at least 9 to 15 days historically of reversing and kind of consolidating. But if you were to get in here and the consolidation goes up to like 10%, and you know, like anywhere in here you can sell for 10% gains and consolidates, that's a much better feeling than buying in at like 80, and then for half the time it's -6, +6, -6. So take that into consideration. It's a great value right here. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. EMA lines, again, they're both going to be resistances moving forward. If you want to wait for it to cross above both, you can see historically, all right, so it's above both, winning, above both, fake out, one, winning, doesn't do it, did it, retest, winning. You see when that happens, you have a much higher chance of success, but just giving the fact of, you know, this huge sell-off and their value, it's also a great buy right here. RSI is super low. That's weird. You don't see that very often. Really low, everything's super low. So again, when's it going to reverse? Shit, I don't know. I can't tell you that. I'm not a genius. But I can say it's going to happen sooner than later, and most likely this will make you a lot of money. And this is super high reward. I mean, you could easily make, 25, 30% in a full move. FSLY, I like it a lot. Next is JKS. This is a devastating stock to me because I used to watch it over here. Like I was watching it. I think this was it. I was watching it down here. I was waiting for like a retest down here. And I was waiting for it, and it never came. And this bad boy just took off literally like the next week. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like a 100% move, and I was like, you bastard. I missed it by so much, by literally that much of a difference, like where that is. I hate my life. So here we are again, though. This is now a horizontal channel. You can try and fit trend lines into it. It's not going to work. It's just a channel sideways. Now, again, why is this a great play? again, if you were to die here, worst case, you lose 5%. So for some of you, that's a lot. You may want to use the volume line as your stop loss. It really does dip below that. But what's the reward? A bad move would be 18%. A good move would be 36. A great move would be 50. So this has massive potential. It's a KPTI on steroids. You can see KPTI. Similar. JKS is similar style, right? It comes down to this area, and the bad boy reverses and flips around. Let's look at consolidation periods. 4 days. Around here, damn it. 2 days, that's a quickie. 4 days. All right, so you have about 4 days, 2 days, and right now I consider it in day 3. So let's not get hasty, but if you start seeing some green here, some really good green, JKS could be a fantastic play. I would not be worried though if it gets down to $51. That may be the best buying opportunity, but you want to miss this play for 2%, for like the extra 3%. It's up to you, but this is a great play nonetheless. But again, check the research why I dropped off so hard. Let's look at the indicators. So of course the 50 and 200 will be resistances moving later. If you can get above the 50 eventually and then to 200, that's where you're gonna make your biggest money. So that's your kind of play. Watch this for later. But again, there'll be resistances, but a great step nonetheless. RSI is super low. Last time it happened, you made a bunch of money, So that's a great sign. That's a good sign right now. Stochastic is dummy low. Vortex is dummy low. Again, everything points to a reversal. Am I confident going to happen? Sure. Am I sure? Nope, not in this market. So we'll have to see what it does, but JKS, Jinko Solar Holdings Company, is a great pickup. Next is NET. I called NET last week on my pretty good list, and now here we are on our great list. It's right where you want it to be. I didn't draw the support today. This has been here for like a week. And you can see it's like it's come in this area, bounce around, and bip, here it is. Looking really good. Worst case, you're going to lose 2% if you want to sell it and just try it. Best case, you're going to make 8% on an easy move, closer to 10 on a fully easy one. And this continues. You can hold for a long period of time, make a lot of money. It just survived earnings. Here's the earnings. It came down, shit the bed. And it's kind of where you want it to be. You want to see it live right here. If it gets lower, okay. But you don't want it to be too low as to where it's like breaking this channel and coming down to 76s. This is a good area. It's a great value. Easy to read uptrend. If we, touch the tops, touch the tips real quick, we can see that it's definitely kind of wedging off. So you got to kind of, hedge your bets and be like, well, it's not going to last forever. You can see how this was a broadening wedge before and what it do. Broke off and made a new one. So it may do that again here, somewhat, but let's just give it some time. Nonetheless, NET is a great value. Let's check the indicators. We can see that it's easily going to be a 200 EMA bounce play once, twice, thrice. It's done this before. Looks like it's doing just fine here. We want to see that live for sure. With it being a 200 EMA bounce play, support all this right here. That's convergence right there. If you want to be Mr. Wait for a crossover, you certainly can. RSI is low. Could be lower, but it's a great price. Stochastic is low. Could be lower by a tiny bit. And then Vortex, again, was low. And now it's kind of showing some life. That's a great sign. We want to see green. We don't want to see any more red on this one. We want to keep the 200. We want to keep the price action the way it is. We want a green Vortex crossover for sure. But this is a great set nonetheless. NET, fantastic. I like it a lot. Next is RUN Sunrun Inc. Another one from last week, I believe, that I called. That's now where I want it to be. It's right at the bottom of this channel. Again, in this type of market, we're not looking for home run dingers all the time. What we're looking for is risk management, good reward, but again, a smart trader can easily cover their bets, and if they lose money, they're not losing big, right? We're trying to get back out there and try and stay active in trading, but if we can't, we just can't, and that's okay because it's a red market. If you were to have a stop loss, all right, 3.5%, maybe 3%. Worst case, you can buy back in. If it dies and comes back, you will see that earnings is coming. So be careful. Do your research. If they're going to kill earnings, right, they did well over here. It died off for the day and came back. Over here, big run up. So maybe we'll see a big run up coming up. Easily 10%. A full move can make 25% pretty easily. I like it a lot. It just comes down to how earnings is going to go. I'm a bit nervous because of that, given all the history. But again, a great setup. Let's check the indicators. So it broke the 50 and it broke the 200 pretty harshly. So take that in consideration. Last time I did that, it took its sweet time. But where to reverse that? this channel. It did it again, channel. It did it again, channel. So that's a good sign, at least, even if the breaking the 200 is a bad sign, it's still where you want it to be pretty well. It's oversold, Stoch sold, Vortex sold. Again, it's a great value. It just depends, will it reverse here, or is the earnings going to really scare it off and drop it down to 43? If it does that, hell yeah, we're going to buy back in and make a bunch of money. So I'm not really that worried about it. Good value nonetheless. Let's see what it does. But RUN, it's a good pickup. And last for the day is XRAY. Sadly, XRAY I saw yesterday and I was like, that's pretty good. And I was waiting to see what I was going to do, and then today it went up 2%. Now it's only 2%. All right, no one's going to give up a great move for 2%, but now you're kind of looking for a 5 to 6% run, and now it's about 3% risk. So it's about 2 to 1. It's not a great setup because of that, but we can take this trend line and check real quick and see it's a pretty good channel. Like, it's done a pretty good job of making full moves. So this would be a good long-term hold. Earnings is coming, which makes me nervous. It's a good dividend stock, though. That's pretty cool. So we'll see what it's going to do. If it was down here, yeah, this would definitely be a great pickup. But today it had a really good day today. So it's kind of moving up. So it's okay. But I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So it just took back the 200. That's going to be a great sign to take that back. It's probably going to take it, retest it to regain some stochastic and stuff and get some momentum. If we were to take that 200, that's a great sign for you. It was just oversold, was super low, and now it's kind of curling up. Again, if you like confirmation plays or plays above the 200 that show life, this one's going to be for you. XRAY could be a great long-term hold. Do your research, but I like it a lot. If you're a beginner trader, please stop the video. You have 9 great plays. You can take these plays with you right now. Go home, research them, do some due diligence, choose 1 or 2 to watch tomorrow. If it's a green morning, great. You could probably buy in pre-market or buy in tonight and then watch it tomorrow. It's a really good pickup. But if you are a beginner trader, please stop the video or just watch for educational purposes and don't remember these tickers and try to play these. Having 20 tickers in one day is too much for almost anybody. You'll see those doofuses with 18 monitors, like that's really going to help them focus more, even though I can just type in the tickers back and forth. I have a watch list and just drag and I don't understand. Just drag and drop them. It's not hard, right? So you want to have 12 screens and do it? Sure. But that's definitely a losing strategy for a beginner. Again, take those 9 and watch those. If you're an intermediate trader, I have some more for you. Let's check them out. If you're new, you're going to notice I do not take the indicators off while I talk about these, just because I can go through them quicker. I trust intermediate traders to make good decisions regardless of what I'm showing. ALDX we called over here. I was like, this is pretty good, and ran up like 25%, which was bonkers compared to my other plays. This one took off like a madman. And now we're back over here. We're retesting old resistances. Now you could say that this is the resistance up here. That's fine. That means all you have now is more room to run. So that's fine. We have our support area. You can definitely claim it being a little bit higher now than I called this last week, so I'll put that there. So it's definitely right where you want it to be for a good value. This thing, though, can shit the bed and lose you 5-6% really quickly. But ALDX, I called it last week, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But ALDX is a great pickup nonetheless. It's really good. ATRS is one of those boring stocks that you can just buy and make like 5% off of constantly, but I've called it like 3 times now, and every time it's made like 10-15%, and by golly, here we are again. Now, I called it last week saying it could easily break the 50. Well, it's showing some life, right? If it gets above here and keeps running, easy 6%. So I'd give it a minute, see what it's going to do. If you want to see it break the 50, you got to wait. You want to see a reversal here, that's also good. It could be a little bit lower, I think. But given the fact that it's showing some green here, and really kind of bowling out like it seems to always do, kind of make these little bowls with a couple of handles. It looks good. Indicators look good. ATRS, a good intermediate play. I trust those to watch it who can do it effectively. Otherwise, just give it a day or two, see what it's going to do. Next is CHGG. One of my best calls of the year. I was over here, like, this looks pretty good. And we're up like 40%. I was like, it looks good over here again. It ran up like even more, like 60%. So it's been a pretty good play for me. Call-wise, I like it a lot. You can even duplicate this line here and bring it over, and you can see that's almost a perfect channel, a rarity these days. Now, could it be a little bit lower? Sure. It could be maybe 2.5% lower, but it's a great one to watch right here. If it runs back up, easy 10%. You're risking like 3 to 10 here. I'll put it on. This is definitely a plus one, but again, I've called it so many times now, I'm not going to be a dead horse. If it does get a little bit lower, down to that 102 area, definitely buy in CHGG CHG is a great pickup. CHG is like my CHWY. I call CHWY a bunch of times, but if it keeps making me 10%, I'm going to keep sharing it. This is this is also, again, I drew this over here. See how well that played out? I was like, I'd buy anywhere over here. It ran up and got right at the bottom of it, right where you wanted to sell at if you wanted to. So it made 6%, and now we're back over here again. So stop loss area, loading zone, price target, moonshot. So we definitely have a little bit of room to drop, but given that the trend line hasn't broken, I want to keep that more than anything. Easily can see another 6-8%. I call CHWY a bunch. It's definitely getting towards its top price target for sure. But just off some easy consolidation here, CHWY, it's a good pickup. I want to see the brokers raise the price target to probably like 130, 140, but it's still a great pickup nonetheless. CRNC is breaking the 50. It's right here now. It needs to hold life here. If it dies, it's going to break everything. And this thing is volatile. You can see how even this little break right here was 2%. Easily can make 15, 20, 30% off one good move. That's why it's an intermediate play. It's an easy read here. But again, if we zoom out, it's cruising up higher highs. Will this last forever? Absolutely not. Can this thing collapse on you? It absolutely can. But again, it's a good pickup, really good technicals. It's just really volatile for those who are beginners. So let's avoid it for them. But for you guys, it's a good pickup. CTIC looks bad with the studies on, so we talk about them off, but easy read here. You see how it's literally in the zone. It gets to about 324 and it reverses. Well, we were just here. Now it's at 129. Sorry, 329. It's showing life can easily be a 10% move. You're right in your loading zone, which you wanted to be at. You want to get to about $3.55. Anywhere above here is a good buy. Or sorry, a good sell. So I talked about it before. CTIC, a great pickup. I just call it a lot, so I call it again for the beginners, but it's a great pickup nonetheless. Next is DDOG. I called it last week on my good list, and now it's on my great list. It was over here, and it ran up like 6%, and I was like, well, shit. But now it's back over here. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So, be careful. See how this was a higher low over here, and that's a higher low, and then this broke both those, right? So it's not the best move of all. It's not the best, it's not always going to be permanent, but, this is a lower high than over here, but it's still higher than over here, so it's a good sign. So really easy uptrend. Your support area could be anywhere from where I put it from before to like up here is probably fine. I'd say probably right here is a good area, right about this area. So, worst case, it breaks all this. You lost 2.5%. Booey hoo hoo. But a full good move, up to about here, 6, 8, easily 10%. If it keeps trending up like this, it's a ascending triangle kind of look. That's great. You can then duplicate your channel and see what's up. You can see that all three of these line up almost perfectly. It's a good channel up. So it's looking really good here. I like it a lot. With the indicators, it's good charting. So as you can see, it definitely broke the 200. It does that and it comes back. So if you want to wait for that crossover, that's fine. It was recently oversold. Stoch is dummy low. Vortex is dummy low. It is a good pickup. I just called it before, so I'll talk about it that much more, right? Good pickup. Next is Etsy. Is this going to be a good uptrending line? Well, we're going to see. If it does live here, it's a good old resistance. It does live here with this trend line. Easily can make 15, 20%. Earnings is coming, but I think earnings may help Etsy to some regard because it's doing such a good business model. So it will run up to earnings, hopefully, but you never know. It could come down and test the 50 to 200 a little bit more. RSI low, stock low. As everything's low, it's just this is very volatile and earnings are coming. It could get really crazy quick, but Etsy is a good pickup nonetheless. IBB was on our great list last week, and again, we're right here. So it still is in our buying zone. It could be a little bit lower, but it's just taking longer to reverse. It's consolidating. You could only maybe lose 1% or 2%, but you can easily gain 5, if not 7 or 8%. So not the best risk versus reward kind of setup, but it's really easy to read. Really good channel up, easy support area. So again, it's an easy read. I just talked about it before, so I talk about it more again since last week, but you can see the price targets here. It looks really good. Next is SA. It was a good one from last week. I was like, well, it takes forever to bull around. And I called it right about here. It's up about 2.5%, but it still has plenty of room to run, especially if it can take that 50. That's what you're going to wait for. If it can take over the 50, take it, retest it to get some stochastic, back and then get the RSI down. You know, pull back a little bit, then take off again. It's going to be a good stock because it's starting to reverse at the bottom here. It may take weeks. It may take weeks to get a full move. But it's an easy read. It's already confirmed for you. That's your kind of play. I like it a lot. SA, it's a good pickup. It's just a little more risky than I want to, seeing as it's already kind of reversed a little bit. And last is XPEV. They obviously must have had some big news down here because, man, it ran up almost $70 over here, looking really good. It's not this strong support area. If we can zoom in to 30, right? You can see this is a strong support area. It's definitely coming down. Will that strong support area, right in this area, hold? And if it doesn't, guess what? It breaks down hard. You lose 3 or 4%, and you can go on with your life. If it lives here, you can easily see it make up 20, 30%. Really good risk versus reward. But all we have going for it is the support. Resistance is right by. So it may make big moves. It may just die on you. So again, only thing you have is support, but it's a good support area. I like it a lot. And there you have it. You have 9 great stocks, 11 good ones for intermediate traders. Those are some really good setups too. Often, the good list makes more money than the great list, but they're much harder to read. They're much more time consuming and hands-on, right? The first list is great for 9 to 5 traders. If you enjoy the content, I insist and welcome you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, ding ding, whatever it is, right? If you enjoy the YouTube content, check out the Discord. There's no pressure. It's a great community of folks. I really enjoy it. If you don't want to join, just want to have this kind of relationship with me on YouTube online, that's fine too. I'm cool with that. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday for another watch list. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.